Okay, going to try and speak to my notes because it's time to really kind of get a context down, a kind of commencing context. So the challenge to establish for ourselves a discerning, discriminating intuition. We can contrast that with knowledge, understanding, belief, ego even. So a discerning intuition, what do we mean by that? Something that is satisfied from an intuitive disposition to express what would otherwise be seen as a use of reason, a practice of reason, a practical rationality. So, and why am I casting it in terms of intuition? Because really mastery of subjectivity means having all of that available, but particularly in terms of intuition because of our relations of power, particularly the relation of subjectivity and power, the problematic of that, the history of that, the politics of that. And so for philosophy to proceed along those lines, we more or less have to get this context of subjectivity in history and in power, but also lay out those elements. So what we'll keep in mind within this context in regard to power, that a power shall be internal or external to the subject. So for myself, I can bring through motivation, through intention, a power. That power is available to me. Bring my power into a circumstance or into a relation. So whether that's private or public, that's up to me. But certainly the flip side is that power can be external. Now there's lots of concepts of power. External power is, of course, the demands placed upon me. So my freedom bound up with my obligations is a common reference point in some of this discourse. So freedom is not outright, it is freedom bound up with the total. So I'm not in total free, I'm bound to firstly my nature, but also, as I say, external power. But in balance, I bring an internal power. So look, that's the context. I'm chasing the context where we've got, we're satisfied that belief can be replaced with intuition. Now, this assumes a lot about the relation of intuition and belief, that we believe intuitively. So even before we build or produce a quite robust intellectual framework, we have always already intuited with and through belief. So there's a little bit of unpacking there, but if we find in mastery of subjectivity that we're satisfied to use our concepts in a stark way, in a practical way. So when we mean a particular element like intuition or like belief, when we use that, we mean it as it is ordinarily understood, but through philosophy we're introducing a strict set of relations or categories. We're saying that belief is not of the same order in terms of subjectivity as intuition. And of course, taking the external power point of view, we can say that objectively, they are not the same thing also. So we're really within the thinking and the practice of reason, and we're within that difference between, say, intuition and belief. And now I'm moving from belief and intuition mostly for the benefit of the Nihilist Association of Australia, which is a development of the question of nihilism given our intellectual history, particularly in the West, but also insofar as it is a global history. Okay.